Good day and welcome to the Herbert Dennard Show. We have with us Katina from the coordinator of Citizens Advocacy.
That's
welcome.
Right. Thank you. I'm happy to be here today.
Tell us, what is the Citizens Advocacy?
Well, the name of the organization is Macon Bibb Citizen Advocacy, and it's a nonprofit organization that's been in Macon now for 33 years. Celebrated 33 years this September.
But what is the Citizens Advocacy?
What we do is we do two things. We provide protection and advocacy for people with developmental disabilities. And not only do we provide protection and advocacy for them by bringing them into a relationship, but we try to educate the citizen that said, yes, I'll walk beside John or Bob, to enhance a person's life.
Okay.
So bringing them into the typical society and including them in what everybody else wants to be doing.
Do you have a lot of participation?
We do. It takes a lot of work on our part by going out into the community and meeting different people and visiting churches and networking a lot. But yeah, we do have people that open their hearts and say yes.
If there's someone that's listening to this show today and they want to be an advocate for their citizens, help somebody like that, what should they do?
Well, the first thing they want to do is just call Macon Bibb Citizen Advocacy, and our phone number is 478-743-1521. If they want to know a little bit more information and just kind of read about us a little bit before they call, they can log onto our website, which is maconbibbcitizenadvocacy.org, which that would give them a little bit more information, tell them about stories. Because one of the most unique things about citizen advocacy is when we bring people together in relationships, we're looking for people that's not looking for any kind of income, because we recruit people that just freely come and freely give of their time and services, just to make someone else's life a little bit easier.
Okay, and they help the person along and help them do different things.
Mm-hmm. We recruit. We actually go out into the community and we look for people in our community that's vulnerable, who's living with a developmental disability, who might not have all of the supports that's necessary, or who might just be struggling a little bit and could benefit from having a little bit of extra support in their life. And so we will bring somebody along in a relationship and kind of tell what that person's story is. So that story might be a little bit different for everybody. Might be someone that's in the education system that just might need a little bit more help and helping their child maybe be in some regular typical classes. Or it might be someone who's been in the nursing home for the past 20 years and just hadn't been able to get out into a one-on-one relationship. So we've got some amazing stories where people have actually stood by someone. In fact, we have Betty Mock, who owns Molly's Cafe, who became an advocate for a woman who has legal blindness. And this woman has lived in institutions majority of her life, and Betty has become friends with this woman, and this past weekend she took her to her home and let her spend the night at her home. And you know, this is something this woman never experienced because of living in an institution. But when you bring someone out of that institutional type setting, put them in a relationship, it's amazing what the advocate will do.
I know, I was an advocate for a while.
Yeah. And
the person that I was advocating for, I think it helped me more than it helped them, because just being around the person, I brought joy to him, he brought joy to me. We went around, and sometimes I would take him to get a haircut. I would take him to a restaurant and we sit down and eat. Sometimes when I go out passing out the informer, he would come with me.
That's right.
But he had a lot of energy and he was happy, and he was just a very special child.
Absolutely. And you'll hear a lot of advocates talk about that. They'll talk about what they got from it more than what they gave out. It's very beneficial to both people.
And when the person see you, their eyes light up. You become a friend of theirs. So if somebody want to get involved, they should try.
Absolutely.
And to call you.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, you have something now going on, I see, that you're getting advocates to vote.
We're trying to encourage advocates to get their protégés to vote, which is what we call people with developmental disabilities. And one of the reasons for that is because in our society we value a lot of different things. We value education, and we value health, and we value many things. And voting is one of the things that our society also values. And so in citizen advocacy, because we're always teaching and preaching inclusion, and we're encouraging advocates to include the person with the disability into what they're already doing, we thought, well, what better way for people with developmental disabilities to also be included in the voting system? I mean, we've seen it happen many times, and it's a very valued role for the person.
And that gives them a sense of belonging to something.
Absolutely.
So do the advocate take them to vote, or just show them how to vote? Or?
Yes, what happens is citizen advocacy has actually been on this year-long journey where we have been giving educational awareness. We've done a couple of workshops. We have created materials and steps. The Bibb County Board of Election has been very supportive. They've given us all the materials that we need, the registration packets, and actually walked us through the steps of once the person with a developmental disability registers to vote, if there isn't any conflicts, then they can actually come down to the voters registration and get a free ID. And so that's been very helpful for advocates to know, because they're wondering, okay, I'm interested in doing this for the person that I'm advocating for, but what are the steps? And so once we present them with the steps, they actually make things happen. So we've done some stories in a book, and we've also done some newsletters where, you know, it's actually been demonstrated that people are really voting.
The advocate should not encourage the person to vote one way or the other, just tell them the information and let them make that decision.
Absolutely. We don't encourage, we don't want, for one, I think it's almost illegal, but we do not want advocates to encourage proteges on who to vote for. But what we do is try to encourage them. It's very time consuming, so it's different than if you and I talked about who the candidates are and how they could vote.
But what I want to do is this. Tell us again, briefly, what the citizen advocacy is.
Okay. Citizen advocacy is protection and advocacy. We're providing protection and advocacy for people in our community here in Macon who have developmental disabilities by creating a one-on-one relationship in their life. Who's going to walk beside them, who's going to speak up for them, who's going to go to bat, and just make sure their rights aren't being violated.
Where are you located?
We're located at 364 Cotton Avenue. We're right across from the Golden Bough bookstore.
Okay. Give them a plug. The Golden Bough, they got a lot of books there too. Good
That's
books.
right.
Yes. But anyway, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Absolutely. It was wonderful. Thank you for having me.
All right. And we'll be right back.